Well, I have one of these. Like many other people, this is a GoPro, and this particular one is the Hero 5. I've also had the 4 and the 3, so I've had GoPros for a long time. Now, one thing which I haven't done enough of, and that's delving into what the GoPro has to offer. Now, for the first 3 or 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer, all I've done is press the on and go, and it's taken video, and the video has been excellent. And it's only recently, and I thought, well, my GoPro's got a lot more to offer than that, so let's have a look at it a bit more closely. And the first thing I looked at, and I have put up a video on this, but I'm gonna do this again, and that is the time-lapse mode, and I was most impressed with that. 4K video, can't complain, and it was stunning. Now all I need is the right subject matter, and I shall do another time-lapse for sure. Now the next thing that I want to look into, which is probably the most challenging one of them all, is the night lapse mode. And what that will do is to take a series of photos for you at night time, but you need to go into the settings on the GoPro to search out night lapse photo, and then to adjust the settings accordingly to what you want to take. Now I'm just waiting for a nice clear starry night, and I'm going to be out there giving this a go, because I want to exploit this camera. Is so good and it's so versatile that I want to exploit it a whole lot more, and maybe we should all do that. A couple of extra things which I'm going to be taking with me, and one is this, a decent torch, and I will be dressed accordingly, and wherever you live in the world. I live in the UK, so it's quite cold here in winter sometimes, so I'll be tucked up nice and warm. And for night lapse, I'm definitely going to need one of these guys to hold my camera still, because I definitely can't hold it still for the 1, 2, 3 hours, whatever it is. And the last thing which I take along is the battery bank, because I can plug this straight into my GoPro and it will be recharging the battery while it's emptying, so I can take a whole lot longer time-lapse video if I choose to do so by using this. So that's a good piece of kit, and I'll take one of these along as well, but it won't last very long, so I'll need to take a flask as well. The next thing I need to do is to find the night lapse mode on my GoPro, and let's have a look. I do find navigating my way around the GoPro 5 quite easy for me, and I'm now looking for night lapse. So here we go, and I'm going to press the on off button on the side, and there we are, night lapse photo. And in here you can adjust the shutter speed, and you can adjust the interval between exposures and get a readout on how much battery you've got and everything else, and then you're all ready to go. So basically then it just press the start button and off it goes until either you stop it or the battery runs out. Well, I had the perfect night last night to go and try out this night lapse mode on my GoPro. Perfect night. It was very dark, no moon, and plenty of stars in the sky, but quite cold. I spent 3 hours photographing, which equates to 30 seconds in exposure. You can easily work that out, but I spent 3 hours photographing, and I came up with 360 photographs at the end of it. And there's two things I can do with those. Is one, I can stack them all on top of each other and then blend them into what we've got here, which is a Star Trails photograph, which is basically 360 photographs on top of each other and then blended together. You will notice that it's round, The reason for that is because I purposely pointed my camera to the north, here in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere it will be the opposite direction. East or west, you get straight lines, and in between various curves accordingly. The other thing which I wanted to do, which was the whole point of the experiment, was to make a time-lapse video, which I did, and with the 360 photographs I managed to get a measly 30 seconds worth of time-lapse, which is about right, because normally a time-lapse will be 12 frames a second. Once again, you need software to be able to create the time-lapse. I used Lightroom, but there's lots of other software out there which will do the same thing. And I got myself 30 seconds worth of time-lapse video. That'll be following in a moment, and if you like it, you can give me a thumbs up. If you don't, well, don't give me a thumbs down. If you want to give a thumbs down, you can, but I hope it's been educational. It certainly has been for me. A fair amount of time invested, and now I know exactly what the night lapse mode will do with my GoPro. It's a fantastic little camera.